It's time, baby. It's about time. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans, everywhere? Welcome to the one and only Pig Trail Network YouTube channel. Hope you guys. I hope you're in a great mood after that. How about that? For the first time, did I hear that right? They didn't start the SEC tournament until '96. That couldn't have been right. There's no way. I thought it was older than that. That had to be incorrect. There's no way that thing just started in '96. What's up, Ty? How you guys doing? Oh my goodness. Sorry if my hair is crazy. We literally just got back from Eureka Springs. My wife and I celebrating 15 years of marriage together. Believe it or not, 15 years. And we had a good old time. I actually got to stop and talk to a couple of Hog fans while in Eureka. They caught me even with my mask on, and it was really cool to talk to. It's always cool talking to you guys out and about, but when you're away from like the immediate area of Northwest Arkansas, like Fayetteville, Springdale area, and you're still getting, "What's up, Ty? What's up, man? Love the show." So, yeah, shout out to those guys. I don't know if they're watching this or not, but shout out to them. If you guys haven't noticed, we have Dave Van Horn here, the king. He's here. He's going to keep me in line. He's going to make sure that, he's just going to make sure that this live show goes well. Super Chat is activated. Patreon supporters, you guys know who you are. Let me pull up that screen as always. PTN Patreon supporters back in April. You see the names there. The May obviously will be out. We'll see that. I think that goes through the first week of June, so I'll have all the updated Patreon supporters as of June or May. Excuse me, from the month of May, I'll have those posted after the first week of June. You mean Daddy Horn? Oh, he owns Vitello, and you gotta love it, man. 3 out of 4. Suck it, Tennessee. I'm so tired of them acting like, oh, we're on the same level as you now. We're all of a sudden. How long has Vitello been at Tennessee now? Look, they're a good team this year. Hell, they might even go further than Arkansas. I doubt that. I have a hard time seeing them. Arkansas getting eliminated before Tennessee. I see obviously Arkansas winning the whole thing. I from here on out, like I think that's a pretty standard call, right? I think even non-Arkansas fans, non-SEC fans who pay attention to college baseball, and I think they'll say the same. Yeah, no, Arkansas is clearly the favorite to win the whole thing. I have a hard time seeing them, if they do get eliminated, getting eliminated before Tennessee, but they're a good ball club. They are. Vitello, this year, they're phenomenal. But Tennessee fans, foot in mouth, head up ass. Like, I don't know what they think on Twitter, on Facebook. They seem to think they're God's gift to baseball after one really solid year. You're not on Dave Van Horn's level. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that as a Hawk fan. I'm saying that as a casual observer. I'm kind of in and out of college baseball. I'm not going to lie. If Arkansas was bad this year, I don't know that we'd be talking about them right now. I don't get a lot. There's not a lot of people in my community that really give a rat's ass about college baseball until Arkansas is winning. Now, it doesn't mean I don't care. Like, I've gone to games even when they weren't good. I've been to Baum Stadium when they were not even ranked, right? It's not about getting in on as a bandwagon fan. It's just as far as my coverage here. I got to, when they're hot, we got to talk about them, right? We got to cover them. If they're bad, we're not here. So, but Dave Van Horn, though, lately, I mean, technically, this will be 3 straight Omaha appearances if he makes it, because obviously last year you were unable to complete the season, although they went out on a win streak. So, congrats. I appreciate that, Mark. Man, how about Copp's first pitch home run? Doesn't even flinch. That he has ice in his veins. He has ice in his veins. It's incredible. Let's get Dave Van Horn that national title. Do you guys think listen, I think there's I don't know what my kids are listening to in the other room, but it's really loud. I think it makes you wonder. He's got the regular season SEC title, right? Now he's got the tournament title. if he gets to Omaha and wins the whole thing, he's in his early 60s. What was he born? 59, 60? How old is he? It does make you wonder, especially with LSU's head coach, who's just a couple of years older, maybe 3 or 4 years. He just retired. Now he's retiring, and it sounds more like he got pushed out at LSU. It does make you wonder if he wins it all, does he hang it up? Does he hang up the hat and the cleats and the cool shades? You know, does he take off the Vitello Tennessee daddy shirt and hang it up? I don't think so. I think he's got it rocking and rolling. It's the best we've seen the last few years in the history of Arkansas baseball. I mean, we've never been back-to-back to Omaha. He did that. We've never been SEC tournament champs. I think we've shared the regular season once, I believe, and I think we won it one other year. Someone's going to correct me. If Kelly Marie were in chat, she would correct me. But it's good to see this, man. I mean, it does make you wonder, does he hang up the cleats? I don't know. I don't think so. But it is a realistic possibility. I mean, you are seeing guys around his age, they're retiring. I mean, it does happen. It's not unheard of. Battles gets the tourney MVP. Battles, now, I do have a confession. I was only able, because we had picked up our girls from my in-laws who live out on the backside of Tawnytown, and we live all the way out east, so we're on like opposite ends of Springdale and Tawnytown. So it took like 40 minutes to get home with traffic, you know, with holiday traffic and what have you. So I had the game on my cell phone holder. I know, not smart, driving and with the game on. I was mostly listening to it. I probably would have listened to Phil, but I wanted to watch how this thing unfolded. And, I wasn't watching while driving. I was watching when, like, at a stoplight, you know. I was just kind of out of the corner of my eyes watching the game. Don't worry. I've got a great, very opinionated co-pilot who kept me on my toes when driving with the game on. But, I wanted to see it because I knew I was going to do a post-game. I felt like Arkansas was going to win this thing. Battles, I'm telling you guys, I think he's a junior. I've heard this for a while now since he came to Arkansas. He's got a high ceiling, could be somebody that could surprise people. And look what he did today. He was incredible defensively and at the plate. It was amazing. It was amazing. It really was. Three of the Hogs, 4 home runs. What a boss, right? Hell no. What, Jen? I think you're probably disputing my claim that Dave Van Horn could retire. Look, I'm just saying it's possible. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Congrats on the marriage, my man. Thanks, Big Man Ross. I do appreciate that, sir. All right. So, what a golly. You know, and I've got thick skin, right? I've had people, unfortunately, a lot of their comments go through the filter. I don't even get a chance to see them. They go through the filtered comment section, but I do flow through there every once in a while. I got thick skin. I get called all kinds of names, whatever. I don't really care. But something about when someone like Tennessee, when their fans are on social media making this claim that somehow now all of a sudden they're at that same level of what Arkansas baseball is, it's like, look, this year you're not far behind Arkansas, but make no mistake about it, you are behind Arkansas. Here's the SEC championship that Arkansas is going home with, the trophy. I didn't actually see it. They're going home with the trophy. You're going home empty-handed, and Arkansas is beating you 3 out of 4 games. No, you're not there yet. Again, depending on the matchups, depending on the regional and super regionals in Omaha, depending on matchups, anything can happen. I see Arkansas winning out. It's so hard for me to see anybody beating Arkansas right now, especially in a double elimination setting. It's just so hard to see that. You wonder how Dave Van Horn's gonna use his bullpen. How about Connor Nolan though? I watched that game. I actually got a chance to watch a little bit of that game. Connor Nolan comes in and does his thing, man. Well, I say does his thing. It looked like old Connor Nolan, like he's getting back to himself. The confidence level that Connor Nolan's got to be at right now, right? Cops, someone mentioned Cops giving up the home run, then just back to business as usual. Tennessee's faced him enough. There's something about, and this is what makes pitching in the major leagues. You can dominate in college baseball, be one of the premier college pitchers, but in the major leagues, you play these teams within your own division over and over, and they know what you've got. They know what you're capable of, right? They have a pretty good idea of what's going on in your bullpen on top of the scouting that they've done before the season and before the upcoming series. You don't see that as much in college baseball until you get into the SEC tournament where teams have already faced, depending on the matchup, have already faced whoever, right? And maybe that's why we saw Connor Nolan come out against Ole Miss. But it didn't shock me. And by the way, the last team to score off Cops was Tennessee. Wasn't shocking that he didn't exactly come out and pitch great. Wasn't shocking, right? The cutter didn't really throw them off a whole lot. So it kind of makes you wonder. You're probably, odds are at some point, you're going to play one of the teams you already faced down in Texas. Who'd you play? Texas, TCU, and Texas Tech, right? Possibility you're going to face some of them. They're going to have somewhat of an idea depending on who pitches against them. But I again, oh my gosh, what makes this team to me, I think compared to 2018, 2019, what makes them different than their previous two teams that made the College World Series, it's like the quality of depth in the bullpen. I know for a while we were like, God, their bullpen sucks. Their middle relief is just so, and we didn't really know what we had at Cops, until like the middle of the season. Then we kind of caught on. Holy shit, this guy, his cutter, whatever you want to call that pitch, is incredible. And he's on national television giving it away. I'm like, stop. Please stop, Kevin Cops. Stop, sir. Did I just call him Kevin? Golly, what a year. What a fantastic year. Woo damn pig SEC champs. Tell me why, or tell me where they are, and I will handle some fools. Don't be messing with our tie. It's TY, man. It's TY, Raw. It's not TYE. That's Ty Richardson. I appreciate it, though, brother. I appreciate it. Man, this team has 94 basketball team vibes, says Brett. I'm telling you, they're so hard to get through their bullpen. Again, talking about the differences between this team and those previous two Omaha teams, including the one that played against Oregon State for the championship to win the national title. I think the difference is that the ceiling is higher for your bullpen. I think you've got an unbelievable, maybe the greatest closer Arkansas has ever had. The ceiling is high. There is some concern about starting pitching. And look, they're about to play the best of the best, especially the closer you get to, and eventually they will, I believe, get into Omaha. You're going to play the best of the best. And the odds are you couldn't match up against Tennessee again. You could play one of those Texas schools again. You might even have the unfortunate opportunity to have a pitcher who already pitched against these guys, and they're going to know what to expect. And again, Dave Van Horn, smart guy. I have a hard time seeing. I think he's going to know who to throw at who, right? But maybe you're forced to pitch someone who already pitched against Texas Tech or TCU or Texas. The Longhorns had a surge there at the end of the year too. Your bats. I don't think they have the power that they had those 2 years. And I know that sounds crazy because they lead the nation, or they're like second or top three behind like Mercer in home runs. But it's just you don't have that super power Heston Kjerstad hitter is what I'm trying to say. You have the hitting power as a lineup, but you don't have that superstar, right? You don't have an Andrew Benintendi. You don't have, when Casey Martin was on, especially like his freshman year, you don't have a Casey Martin and Heston Kjerstad in your batting order, right? You've just got guys that just know how to get on base. They are capable. They are a really great as far as their batting lineup, especially when you get beyond like your cleanup hitting. Like even when you get beyond that, you have guys that are capable of getting on base or scoring runs or racking up RBIs. It's just so fun to watch. And someone said this. I want to say it wasn't D1 baseball. It wasn't Rogers. I forgot who it was. It was one of those. Maybe it was Baseball America, someone that writes for Baseball America. But they'd said that Arkansas has so many different ways they can beat you because of their arms and their bullpen. So their pitching, even though it's not elite pitching, they've still got a really high ceiling, and they could beat you with their bullpen. They could beat you if you want to go tit for tat with home runs. They can do that. They could play long ball. They could play short ball. They could do just about anything. They have why this isn't talked about more? Their infield defense is incredible. You know, their outfielders are great at fielding balls. Like, they've got this radius. It's so damn hard to have an easy inning or an inning that you could stretch out against Arkansas because of their infield defense, because of their ability to turn the double play, because of their ability to make outstanding catches in outfield. They're just phenomenal. This is the best roster head to toe I think we've ever had at Arkansas. No, I don't know much about 1979 when they went and played it for it all in the national championship. I don't remember who they lost to. Was it Colgate? Was it like one of the Arizona schools, one of the West schools? I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was a school out west. Or some school that has no business. Then again, it could. I think it was actually a Power 5 school at the time. But I think this team is they're stacked. And I'm not just saying that because they were number one the entire year. It's just you could tell by watching these guys, comparing the lineup, comparing the bullpen. Obviously, Cops. When you kind of factor it all, you don't have an Isaiah Campbell, right? You don't have that elite, oh my God, starting pitcher. You've had moments from guys like Wicklander, Lockhart, but overall, like, you don't have that true. There's their ace. This guy's going to smoke us, starting pitcher. What they have is someone who could come in and pitch your ass off in those to get the final 6 or 9 outs. It's Cops, and he's capable of playing game 1 for 2-3 solid innings, and he's capable of coming in game 3 for 2 or 3 solid innings. And tonight, I think it was the final 9 outs. I think he had to come in and pitch the final 9 outs, and he did exactly that. Wasn't great, wasn't stellar. One of his worst games all year, and look at that. You're SEC champs. You're SEC tournament champs. It's incredible. I could go on and on. I'm pretty sure 79 was Texas, says Alex. I don't think it was Texas. I want to say it was someone out of the Southwest Conference. Tie there. Autocorrect wasn't fast enough. Okay. All right. I'll let that one slide. Tony Brown says, I actually watched. Very good ending. Can't wait for regionals and on the way to Omaha. Yeah. Wiggins looked good today. Lockhart was fire. Wick struggled some, but we have seen how good he is. Yeah. 79 was USC. Was it USC? Okay. 79 was USC. And that was the first ever title game Arkansas ever played in. And I think that was that their first trip to Omaha in 79? And I think they had 2 more trips, one or 2 more trips in the 80s, right? When I was a kid, my dad used to take me to that old ball field. It was right there, literally right adjacent to the stadium. It was right next to the university. It was like right up the road on Razorback Road. And I was raised in the neighborhood that they literally built the new bomb stadium, or the new stadium. I should say the new stadium, bomb stadium. I lived right down the road from that stadium, man. You could hear them doing construction. It's good times. That old factory that used to be the Campbell Soup Factory over there. Good times. I'm an OG Southtown Fayetteville kid. Are you concerned about Monk's ability to locate pitches yesterday? I think, look, he's really the only pitcher I've watched this year, and I'm kind of concerned. This guy, and Connor Noland, I'll be honest, this guy worries me. Okay, we can get a key out here, but is he capable of getting you 3 more pitches? Or 3 more outs in the next inning? How long can Monk go? It'd be nice if he had starting pitchers that could go longer than 4 innings. It'd be nice if you can get some guys, especially in this postseason. Now it's all that matters in postseason play, finding their way to 6 innings. That's asking a lot, I know, but they don't have anyone. There's no starting pitcher that averages, I think, beyond 5 innings, 4 or 5 innings. And look, there's a lot of teams, even teams that you'll see in Omaha, that probably only have 1 pitcher that can do that, maybe 2. It's hard to find pitchers that can go, especially in these Power 5 conferences, in the ACC, the SEC, the Big 12. It's hard to find pitchers who could pitch to a batting order because they're so much more talented now. In the SEC, it's cream of the crop. It's even harder. It's hard to get these guys to go out there and throw beyond 5 innings. But if Arkansas had at least 1 pitcher that could get you 6 solid innings, right? Maybe 2-3 hits, maybe a run or 2, right? Because we know Arkansas's ability at the plate comes around the 5th inning and beyond, right? We know that they can heat up. Those bats catch fire in the 6th inning, in the 7th inning. Just get you a starting pitcher that when you call on Cops, and it doesn't really matter with Cops, but if you want to use somebody else, because Cops can't bail you out every single game. He's not going to be able to do that in postseason play. I mean, we'll see what Dave Van Horn does, but you're going to want your pitchers to not have so much stress on them when they come to take the mound in the 4th, 5th inning. Like, we're not getting hits, and now it's up to me to make sure I give up 0 runs, you know. But then I guess the stress reliever for pitching this year has been, you know what, they're going to come in late. I know. I have so much confidence in our hitters. Maybe that's what's happened this year. But Arkansas has been phenomenal. What is that? Win number 46. So they finished 46-10. Isn't that right? That's incredible. that is phenomenal. Yeah. So Georgia, right? You won that game. You damn near should have ruled them. 11-2. Vanderbilt 6-4. Ole Miss 3-2. And you come away today beating Tennessee, wrapping up the SEC tournament. Congrats to Dave Van Horn. Congrats to the Razorbacks. This team, a bunch of fighters, man. They don't hang their heads. They give up a homer. Doesn't matter. Cops it's just back to business, man. You like it when you got a pitcher with ice in his veins. Doesn't get shaken real easy. And Cops showed a lot of grit tonight. But this whole team showed a lot of grits. A lot of grits. Let's go eat some grits at the Awful Waffle. Their grits are actually kind of underrated. Or they used to be. Back in the day. Their grits are underrated. I like mine with sugar and milk. I like my grits to be a little sweet when I eat grits. That's how you know, that's how you know when you're from the South, right? Get back to chat. He has beet juice in his veins. There you go. Think Slavens will be back before we get deep into the tournament play? That's a good question. What's crazy is, even with how many pitchers have you injured in this postseason? Was it 2? I know Pallet went down. Wasn't there another pitcher that got hurt? Sorry, I've been on my anniversary trip in Eureka Springs. For those of you late, I thought another pitcher got hurt this weekend. Maybe that one wasn't as bad. And then of course you lost Slavens, shrimp and grits. I don't do shrimp. I know I'm going to get some people like, what are you doing? I don't do shrimp. But you lose Slavens in this tournament. I'm telling you, I do think, I'm going to be completely real with you guys. I'm honest. I think the SEC tournament is just a damn waste of time. I just got to say that. I think it's a waste of time. It doesn't do anything to help Arkansas or any of the top 5 teams, right? I don't think it does anything for you. I think it's a waste of time and you risk injury. Well, that's exactly what happened. But I just dropped my pen. But Dave Van Horn, it's worth it. Get to take home some hardware. Confidence booster shot right into the arm or into one of the butt cheeks. You got to feel pretty confident after now. It's like nobody out of the best conference in college baseball is capable of beating us 2 out of 3 games. No one's capable of beating us in the SEC tournament. We'll see what they do, beyond this with the regionals and super regionals and on to Omaha. But it is a confidence booster. I'll say that. I still think there's nobody who's going to convince me that tournament play, especially in the SEC, means a damn thing. Congrats. Hardware's nice. First ever. But I think to Hog fans, that should kind of tell you there's years where there's no doubt Arkansas was one of, if not the best team in the regular season, despite not winning like what they did this year. You don't need an SEC tournament, I think, to prove like what you are, especially in the SEC, right? Do you need a tournament? Like, you just went undefeated, which is so hard to do, which has only been done, twice? And then you have to go on to a tournament. And by the way, you couldn't even – why were you the away team, by the way, against Tennessee? What the hell was that about? Something about – what sound like politics to me. A bunch of bullshit. What's up, Mike Ewing? How you doing, man? Go Hogs. We lost 2-1 to Cal State. Fullerton. That's right. It was Cal State. Okay, it was a non-P5. Of course, back then I don't know that P5 was really a thing. It's the consistency of grits gets me every time. I am now a patron. Hey, Ross, your name will be added to the month of May list, my man. So you'll see that in the first week of June, I believe. You'll see that change. So be on the lookout. I'll probably change the graphic. Thanks for joining, Ross. That's awesome. I'm pretty sure that still counts towards the month of May. Patreon's a little weird sometimes. If you come in right at the end, sometimes it should add you though. It should add you. 2-1 Cal State Fullerton. That's right. That's right. It was a team out west. I was close. They said Zeb had cramps in his biceps. Yeah, Vermillion. Okay, it was cramps. All right. Well, then good. At least he should be back. I don't know when to expect Slavin's back. I really don't. They said it was, I think, 1 to 3 weeks on that ankle injury. Who knows? I hope he responds well. I'd love to have him back for the regionals. So NCAA regionals will start. We don't have a time yet. We'll start Friday, June 4th in the 5th and 6th. So right now time is TBA. Arkansas will be the 1 seed, no doubt about that. Baum Stadium is going to be rocking. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait. I can't confirm if we're going to do post games here for every one of those games or not. I'll try my best to keep you guys up to date or whatever. I know I'm real bad about that on social media, but just hit the notification bell, right? Make sure you like the stream too, by the way. Make sure you guys are liking this. We had almost, I think, we had quite a few people in here. It's bump those likes up. Come on now. Maybe only the bottom 8 to 10 teams should have to play in the conference tournament. Yeah, like the teams that, leave the top 4 teams out and everybody else play. I don't know. I get why they do it. I understand it. It brings in revenue. You've got the TV contract with ESPN, SEC Network. I just think in terms of what the games are, they're so pointless. They're so pointless. You get to take home hardware if you win it all. That's cool. It is a good accomplishment. Obviously, you're happy for Dave Van Horn. If you asked him if it was worth it, that's all that matters. And he's probably going to tell you, yeah, it was definitely worth it. So that's all that matters at the end of the day, not some big mouth on YouTube. I think as deep as our pin is, it almost doesn't matter not having a 6-inning starter. 1 or 2 of the guys going to be. Yeah, but you have to think long-term, though, right? You've got to think long-term. It's not just for that game. It gives you an opportunity if you have a starting pitcher who can go 6 innings. You remember Campbell, one of the biggest knocks on him before his final season at Arkansas was you couldn't get 4 solid innings out of him. That was a big knock on him and why people said he wouldn't go high in the draft. That's also something that matters, right? What's your pitch count? What can you get your pitch count up to, and how reliable can you be through however many innings, right? That matters for those guys who are trying to play in the big leagues. But that was an issue, and that was something that even in the College World Series, I can remember them saying that was actually a strength with your ace, with your Friday night guy, but then your other 2 nights, your day 2 and day 3 guys, you didn't know how far you could take those guys, right? You had to hope that you had the arms that could bail you out. You hope that you had some guys you can call the bullpen to come in and either close the game out or pitch middle relief or whatever, if you want a lefty on lefty matchup, whatever. You need to have those options. You didn't really have those. But then you did. Not as much, not as you didn't have the middle relief is what I'm trying to say, like you do now. Then those 2 College World Series years, both those years you had starters who could get you 5 solid innings. But now that's not the case. But the difference being your middle relief, I think they have the arm talent. They're not going to be on all the time. They're going to give up runs. They're going to give up hits. They're going to get in jams. They're going to get into some situations. And then you're able to call in a closer, hopefully like the 6th or 7th inning, that guy being Cops, and bail you out. But for the most part, they have that now this year. They have the arm depth. They have the bodies in the bullpen that can get the job done. I think, too, you have to remember that it's not about just that one game. It's about reserving those arms, right? Not having to, like game 1 in the SEC tournament, when you're pitching a no-hitter, think of the advantage that gave you. How many pitchers did we see in that game after we unfortunately gave up the no-hitter? You saw 2 pitchers. You saw 2 pitchers against Georgia when you won 11-2, right? You had 2 pitchers. You were pitching a no-hitter, unfortunately. You got ruined. But Lockhart went 7 innings. and then you called in Toll. That was it, and that was such an advantage. So people need to think about that. Like, that's what we're talking about. It's not about that one-game matchup. It's about stretching that guy, that starter's arm out as much as you can, getting him to 6, and if God willing, 7 solid innings, and then calling in your closer or whatever you want to do. So I think that's something they don't have this year. They don't have a starting pitcher. Unless Lockhart can turn that into a thing, I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Postseason baseball gets wild, too. We know that. Anything can happen. Arkansas is clearly the best regular season team in college baseball. Now the question is, are they the best postseason team in college baseball? Because sometimes, it's kind of the same thing in basketball, although basketball is a lot more about matchups, right? But the same thing can be said in baseball, right? How many lefty switch hitters, like what do they have? How many lefties do they have in the bullpen? How many guys throw whatever ball? Is maybe Arkansas, maybe their weakness is the off-speed pitch, or maybe they just can't hit mid-90s fastballs. Like that's their kryptonite that night, right? They just can't seem to hit it. You've seen that in the past. It is about matchups, but not as much as it is, let's say, like basketball maybe, and sometimes football too. When you're talking about different styles of offense but anyways, congrats to the Razorbacks. It's exciting. First ever SEC championship. Are you gonna get a shirt and hat to celebrate? Joe wants to know. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Just a shirt and a hat? I don't know. Yo, Ty, damn, it feels good to stomp Ole Miss and Tinner's butts. God, I hate those guys. Wasn't it nice to see Arkansas haul off the trophy and not Tennessee? Right? I agree. It is a huge advantage having the starter, but with as deep as new we are, it doesn't hurt as bad as it could. What I'm getting at. Right. No, I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I hear you. I'm saying that you got to think long term, especially when you get into Omaha, where you're not burning through your bullpen as much, right? You can have guys with high ceilings. We don't have very many middle relief guys that are going to get you, that can come in and not just pitch middle relief that maybe can close the game out, right? They don't have a lot of those guys. They have guys that can get you 2 innings. How many innings do you think Connor Nolan can pitch, right? What do they do with Lockhart? And how do they flex this bullpen? Who's in rotation? What does he want to do? What is the opposing team like? What's their weakness? What lefty do you want to pitch? Is it smart to start a lefty or what? It's going to be fascinating to see how this all unfolds in postseason play. But again, what is to me what's always been interesting is regular season baseball versus postseason baseball. And look, so far you're off to a great start because you just won the SEC tournament. You're very welcome, my sir. It don't matter as long as it's helping you out, brother. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it, Ross. I would think not having a starting ace would be a problem, but the resilience, that's the word right there. The resilience of this number one team snuffing out potential rallies has me convinced this team can deal, and that's been the case all year long. That has been the case. They've needed to rely on Cops. There's no doubt about that. Without Cops, there's a question. Without Cops, are you undefeated in SEC series play? Without Cops, are you in the SEC championship? That's the question. I don't have the answer to that because I don't know. I was having that conversation with someone not that long ago about where this team would be without Cops. Cops is such a dominating force. Who was it? Was it Ty Richardson? No, it was maybe Josh Bertuccini on Twitter. Someone had asked, it was someone in the media who made the statement that Cops is the most dominant player on campus since Darren McFadden. And you have to understand what he's saying there. You're comparing, it's hard to compare two sports, but I get what he's saying. We talk about it here all the time, right? There's contributors. There's guys that contribute. They find their way onto the field. Hell, they might have a good enough senior season. They might even find themselves drafted. No, it's kind of hard. I would say like Jonathan Marshall was a high contributor at Arkansas. He wasn't a playmaker. He wasn't a playmaker, but he was a contributor that contributed on a high level, soaking up blocks, right? Then you look at someone like, or you could even argue, what was his name? They got drafted by the Vikings. Armand Watts. Armon Watts was just a contributor, but he played good enough his senior year where he was actually pretty damn good. Had a number of sacks for an interior defensive lineman. It was impressive. Got himself drafted, right? He kind of bumped up to a playmaker. Copps is on that level. I'm not saying he is the Darren McFadden of Arkansas baseball. I think you'd probably have to argue like Andrew Benintendi. Heston Kjerstad was almost dropped an F-bomb, was a phenomenal power hitter. I mean, that guy, but I don't think he was a Darren McFadden in terms of what he did for Arkansas, right? You look at the presence that Copps brings, what he was able to do, his contribution, he's a difference maker on the mound, right? So you've got someone who plays, right? He's not a playmaker, he's a contributor. I think you've got like 3 levels of contributors, right? Then you go to playmaker, a guy who's capable of making plays. He's capable of being on the highlight reel. Mason Jones was a playmaker. I think he was a level 2 playmaker, right? And then you get into difference makers. Darren McFadden, difference maker. A high-end, major level of contribution, difference maker. I think that's where Copps is. I think Copps is in that same. So where is Arkansas without Copps this year? I don't know. Again, I'm not saying, but you go back without Darren McFadden. Yeah, you had Felix Jones. You had Peyton Hillis. You had a really good blocking offensive line. But did you accomplish, what he was able to do with that team on offense? No, you don't. I'm sorry. Felix Jones was great, but he was no Darren McFadden at the college level. Where would you put Fletcher? I don't know. That's a good question. People don't realize that we do have pitching. We do, and I agree with that. A lot of these guys are young, and when they come in, they are a little amped up once they settle in. And that's why you see guys come in and give up hits. Someone asked me that, too, a while back. Why do you see that in college baseball and not in Major League? In college ball, I think these kids have a hard time limiting their emotions, and they get on the mound, and they give up a homer, or they give up a run, they give up a big hit. They give up a big double play or something right off we've seen that time and time again. You make a pitching change. It's about getting all that, coming down to earth a little bit, right? Corliss was major. Corliss Williamson was a absolute difference maker. Corliss is why you won. That's a good art. I like that. I like that out of you. Corliss was incredible. He absolutely was. And he was a difference maker. That's what Copps is. So some of you are picking up what I'm saying here, and I appreciate that. There's again, contributors, there's playmakers, and there's difference makers. Corliss, Darren. I think had Matt Jones been on some better teams, we could have seen his level of being a difference maker, perform on a higher level. I mean, good God, 6'6", 242 pounds. That SOB drops, what was it, a 4.37? 4.37 at the NFL Combine. Are you serious? 6'6", 242 pounds. Come on now. Then enter Copps to close it out. We have solid staff. Yeah, no, I agree. The pitching ceiling. Not always you're not always going to get a great performance out of your middle relief, out of your starting pitcher. Copps today wasn't perfect. Obviously, wasn't perfect. You're asking him to do a lot to come in and get those final. Again, I think it was 9 outs, and he was able to do it. It was a little sloppy, but he did it. Even Corliss didn't go over the hump until we got Robinson and Wilson. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you need those guys around you to elevate your own game. But, yeah, all right. That is it. To the new Patreon supporter, thank you. To all the Patreon supporters. Again, I'm going to flash your name on the screen. You guys are awesome. There you are. Tyler Edmonson, Anthony White, Timothy Whiseant, George Rector, Randall Hunt, Kelly Marie, John Goodman, Mathew Hestand, Doug Stubbs, Jenna Mayes, Justin Kipper, John Hawes, and Mark Dodson. Thank you guys for being there, for being a part of it, being April Patreon supporters. And again, that updated the May roster will come out soon. So, all right. Woo Pig, go Hogs. Hell of a get to take home some awesome hardware. A big win. Huge win. This doesn't guarantee you to win it all, but good Lord, it is hard. I would not bet against the Razorbacks. They're just stacked. They're stacked. It's incredible. All right. Woo Pig, go Hogs. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully I can get you again. I swear I'm working on some more football content. You guys are hitting me up in the DMs. I swear it's coming. So thank you guys for sure from all of Arkansas. Absolutely. Woo Pig to all those guys. So deserving. Again, ask them if this tournament was worth it. They'll tell you. So, all right. Go Hogs. I'll see you guys on the next one.